A single mother walks into Judge Caprio's courtroom owing $800 in parking tickets she can barely afford food for her kids, let alone pay the fines. But when her 7-year-old son whispers something to Judge Caprio that makes him stop everything, what happens next will absolutely destroy you emotionally. I'm warning you right now, this story went so viral it changed parking laws in 4 different states. It made millions of people cry, including hardened police officers who watched it. But before we dive in, less than 3% of you watching are subscribed, so hit that subscribe button because this story is about to touch your soul in ways you never expected. What this little boy says to the judge and what Judge Caprio does in response created one of the most beautiful moments ever captured in a courtroom. You're not ready for this. It's a rainy Wednesday morning in Providence Municipal Court, and Judge Frank Caprio is handling his usual docket of municipal violations. The courtroom is packed with people waiting their turn, some nervous, some resigned, most just wanting to get through their case and get on with their day. At exactly 9:30, and the courtroom doors open, and in walks 28-year-old Maria Santos holding the hand of her 7-year-old son, Diego. Maria is wearing her work uniform, hospital custodial services shirt, because she has to go straight to work. After this hearing, she works the night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. cleaning floors and emptying trash at Rhode Island Hospital. Diego is dressed in his school clothes, a backpack over his small shoulders. He should be in second grade right now, but Maria had to bring him to court because she couldn't afford childcare, and her neighbor, who usually watches him, had to work. Maria is here facing $800 in unpaid parking tickets accumulated over 6 months for someone making minimum wage as a hospital janitor. $800 might as well be $8,000. But guys, before I tell you how this simple parking violation case became a viral phenomenon, I need to know something. Where are you watching this incredible story from? Drop your city and country below, because this story is about to spread around the world. As Maria and Diego make their way to the gallery, Judge Caprio immediately notices the little boy. Diego is well-dressed despite their obvious financial struggles. His clothes are clean and pressed. His backpack has his name written in careful block letters. It's clear that no matter how little money they have, this mother makes sure her son is taken care of. Maria Santos. The court clerk calls out, reading from the docket. Maria stands up, Diego's small hand still clutched in hers. She approaches the defendant's stand, and Diego stays right beside her, looking up at Judge Caprio with wide, curious eyes. Miss Santos, Judge Caprio begins, looking at the paperwork, then at Maria, then at Diego. You're charged with multiple parking violations totaling $800. These tickets were all issued near St. Mary's Elementary School over the past 6 months. Maria nods nervously. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Caprio looks at Diego, then back at Maria with those compassionate eyes that have made him famous worldwide. Miss Santos, is this your son? Yes, Your Honor, this is Diego. I'm sorry I had to bring him, but I couldn't find anyone to watch him today. Judge Caprio smiles at Diego, who is staring up at him with a mixture of curiosity and concern. It's perfectly fine, Miss Santos. Diego is welcome in my courtroom. Then Judge Caprio asks a question that starts unraveling Maria's story. Can you help me understand these parking violations? They're all from the same area, all during school hours. What was happening? Maria takes a deep breath. Her voice is quiet, almost apologetic. Your Honor, I work at the hospital from 11 at night until 7 o'clock in the morning. I pick up Diego from my neighbor's house, where he stays while I work, and I have to get him to school by 8 a.m. After that, I go home and sleep so I can work again that night. Judge Caprio nods, following along. I see. So these parking violations occurred when you were dropping Diego off at school? Yes, Your Honor, the parking by the school. It costs quarters for the meter. Some mornings. Maria's voice trails off and she looks down at her hands. This is where everything changes. Judge Caprio sets down his pen and leans forward. Something in Maria's voice, something in the way she stopped mid-sentence, tells him there's more to this story. Miss Santos, please continue. Some mornings. What? Maria glances around the courtroom, then down at Diego, who is looking up at her with those big 7-year-old eyes full of trust and love. Some mornings I don't have quarters, Your Honor. Judge Caprio Looks confused, the parking meters. Accept credit cards now, Miss Santos. Maria's face flushes with embarrassment. Your Honor, I don't have a credit card, I don't have a bank account. Now, guys, pause for a moment here. We're talking about someone working full-time. At a hospital, someone who goes to work every single night to clean up after. Others, someone raising a child as a single mother and she doesn't have a bank account. Judge Caprio is starting to realize they're dealing with someone living in a completely different world than most people in that courtroom. Miss Santos, why don't you have a bank account? When Diego's father left us 2 years ago, I had no money in my account. The bank charged me fees for having no money, then more fees for the fees I couldn't pay. I ended up owing the bank money, so now no bank will let me open an account. Judge Caprio is beginning to understand this isn't someone trying to cheat the system. This is someone trapped in a cycle where being poor costs money, so you cash your paychecks. We're at the check cashing place on Broad Street. They charge me $25 every 2 weeks to cash my paycheck. I take that money and divide it up. Rent, food, Diego school supplies, bus fare, and sometimes there's no money left for parking meters. No, Your Honor. Sometimes I have to choose between putting quarters in a parking meter and buying Diego lunch money for school. And, guys, if this story is already breaking your heart, if you're starting to understand the impossible choices this mother faces every single day, please hit that like button. This story needs to be seen by everyone who thinks they understand what poverty really looks like in America. Judge Caprio looks down at Diego, who has been listening to this entire conversation with the seriousness that only children living in adult situations can have. Thoughtful Diego, how old are you, son? Diego holds up 7 fingers. 7, Your Honor. Thoughtful, 7 years old. That's 2nd grade, right? Yes, sir. I'm in Mrs. Rodriguez's class. Judge Caprio smiles. How do you like school, Diego? Diego's face lights up. For the first time since entering the courtroom, I love school. I'm learning to read chapter books and I can do multiplication now. That's wonderful. What's your favorite subject? Math, because numbers always make sense. And art, because I like to draw pictures for Mama when she's tired. Judge Caprio's expression becomes more serious. Thoughtful. Diego, do your Mama? Diego nods earnestly. Yes, sir. I help count the grocery money so we don't spend too much, and I carry the heavy laundry bags because Mama's back hurts from working. You help count grocery money? That's a big responsibility for a 7-year-old. Mama gets really tired after work, and sometimes she forgets how much things cost, so I help her add up the prices before we go to pay. Judge Caprio realizes that this 7-year-old child is helping manage the family finances because his mother is so exhausted from working night shifts that she can't think straight in the grocery store. Thoughtful Diego, what do you want to be when you grow up? Diego thinks for a moment, then looks up at Judge Caprio with complete sincerity. Thoughtful, a judge like you, but a nice judge who helps people. The courtroom is completely silent. Thoughtful, why do you want to be a judge, Diego? And then Diego says the words that will break your heart and change Judge Caprio's life forever. Sad, because maybe if I'm a judge, I can make sure other kids don't have to worry about their mamas getting in trouble for not having quarters. Judge Caprio's eyes fill with tears. The court reporter stops typing. Other defendants in the gallery are wiping their eyes. This 7-year-old boy who should be worried about homework and cartoons is worried about his mother going to jail over parking tickets. But Diego isn't finished. He tugs on his mother's sleeve and whispers something to her in Spanish. Gentle, what did he say? Judge Caprio asks gently. Maria's voice breaks as she translates. Sad, he wants to know if you're going to put me in jail, and if you do, can he go with me because he doesn't want to be alone. The entire courtroom feels that punch to the gut. A 7-year-old boy asking if he can go to jail with his mother because he's more afraid of being alone than he is of going to prison. Judge Caprio stands up from his bench and walks around to the front. He kneels down so he's at Diego's eye level. Diego, I want you to listen to me very carefully. I am not going to put your mama in jail. Do you understand? Diego nods, tears in his eyes. And do you know why I'm not going to put your mama in jail? Diego shakes his head. Because your mama is a hero. She works all night long taking care of sick people, then she makes sure you get to school every morning, then she goes home and sleeps for a few hours so she can do it all over again. Heroes don't go to jail for trying to take care of their children. Judge Caprio stands up and addresses Maria. Miss Santos, not only am I dismissing all of these fines, but I want to do something else. He walks over to his desk, opens wallet, and pulls out a roll of quarters. Diego, come here. Diego walks over to Judge Caprio, who hands him the roll of quarters. This is for your mama's parking meters. But Diego, I want you to promise me something. What? Your honors? Promise me you'll keep getting good grades and keep being such a good helper to your mama, and promise me you'll still want to be a judge when you grow up, because we need more judges who understand what real families go through. But Judge Caprio isn't finished. Court officers, please escort Miss Santos and Diego to my chambers. I want to discuss some resources that might help. What happened in Judge Caprio's chambers that day remained private, but here's what we know. Judge Caprio connected Maria with a hospital program that provided free child care for night shift workers. He helped her open a bank account at a credit union that specializes in helping people rebuild their financial lives, and he arranged for Diego to receive a full scholarship to an after-school program. Guys, I need to pause here for just a moment. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, you need to be. Stories like this, stories that show what's possible when someone with power chooses to use it with compassion. This is exactly why this channel exists. Hit that subscribe button right now. What happened after this video was posted online restored faith in humanity for millions of people around the world. Within 48 hours, the clip had been viewed over 8 million times. Maria received over 15,000 letters and emails from people offering support, job opportunities, and financial help. GoFundMe campaigns started by a complete stranger raised over $200,000 for Maria and Diego, but Maria, showing the character that got her through all those difficult months, asked that most of the money be used to start a fund helping other single parents facing similar situations. 4 different states changed their parking fine policies to include hardship provisions after Maria's case went viral. The Diego Santos rule now allows judges to convert parking fines to community service for families facing financial hardship. But here's the most amazing part of all. 6 months later, Maria had saved enough money from her new day shift hospital job to rent their own apartment. Diego wrote Judge Caprio a letter that said, "Dear Judge Caprio, Mama doesn't cry at night anymore, and I still want to be a judge like you someday. Thank you for helping us when we needed help the most." Today, Maria works as a certified nurse's aide at the same hospital. She's taking night classes to become a registered nurse. Diego is 11, now still getting straight A's still. Says he wants to be a judge, and he volunteers at the same after-school program that helped him. And guys, I have one final question for you, and I really want you to think about this. How many Maria Santos are there in your community? How many parents are making impossible choices between basic necessities? What can we do to help? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because stories like Maria and Diego's remind us that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply see people's struggles and respond with compassion instead of judgment. If this story moved you, if Maria's strength and Diego's innocence touched your heart, share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that there are still good people in the world doing good things. Like this video if you believe in helping families who are doing their best with what they have. Subscribe for more stories that show what's possible when we choose kindness over indifference. And remember, sometimes the most powerful question we can ask isn't "Why didn't you follow the rules?" but "What can I do to help?" Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next